If your partner is disgruntled, it is a one-way street. Hi, everybody. It's Terry Real. Hope you're well. I want to talk with you today about how to be a good listener, which 99 out of 100 of us are not. And I'll tell you exactly how that works. But listening, of course, is an essential skill in a healthy relationship. How many of us watching this now have had the experience of not feeling listened to? Raise your hand. How many of us have felt that we just can't get through to that son of a gun on the other side of the table? What a miserable experience that is. And of course, it leads to many couples' difficulty. A lot of us, when we don't feel listened to, make the grave error of intensifying what we're saying. Hey, you can't hear me now. What about now? Hey, what about now? Hey, what about now? Yeah, good luck with that. Particularly women to men, because in our culture, women often carry the dissatisfaction with the lack of intimacy in their relationships and try to address it. You know, in heterosexual relationships, one of the open secrets in couples therapy is men are not that unhappy in their marriages. Heteronormative men are unhappy that the women are unhappy with them. It is women who are wanting more, women who are carrying the dissatisfaction, and women who are carrying the ambition of greater intimacy. That's how men and women are socialized differently under patriarchy. So I have 8 million sayings, and one of them is an angry woman is generally a woman who doesn't feel heard. And what I do as a couples therapist is I get that woman heard, and then things calm down. For you guys, many guys are performance-based. We don't have inside-out self-esteem. We base our self-esteem on how good a job we're doing. And men often have difficulty with criticism. We're criticism phobic because when you tell us we're not doing a good job, our whole self-esteem goes right down that. And so men's shaky self-esteem based on performance is a culprit in men having difficulty being accountable. Don't tell me I'm doing something wrong because my fragile male ego will have a hard time hearing that. So men are criticism phobic, and it's hard for us to listen. But we can learn to listen and not take it so personally. I teach that to people all day long. But here's the thing. I like to say, what are the 5 scariest words in the English language for most men? Ready? Honey, we have to talk. And honey, we have to talk usually means I'm going to complain about you and I'm going to share every nook and cranny of my negative feelings about you. I may not get around to telling you what you could do that would make me feel better. And this may go on for hours, and men batten down the hatches and stop listening after about 2 seconds. Or they counter with, well, this is what your issues are with me, this is my issues with you. So let me be clear. Honey, we have to talk. All relationships are an endless dance of harmony, disharmony, and repair. And our culture doesn't teach us the skills of moving from disharmony to repair. That's what I teach. Our culture doesn't even acknowledge that disharmony occurs, let alone how bad it is, let alone what to do when you're faced. Generally speaking, in our common culture, patriarchal, individualistic culture, when you are faced with a disgruntled partner, we have 2 orientations. That's to not make me take myself too seriously. Here's the first one, accuracy. As we're listening to our partner speak, we're saying, that's true, that's not true, that's partly true. Well, that's true, yeah, you have to understand that. We're not listening, we're rebutting. And whether we're stupid enough to rebut out of our mouths or slick enough to just rebut inside our heads, it doesn't matter, we're not listening, we're arguing. That's true, that's not true, that's true, that, oh no, my God, that's so true. And then the second orientation that we turn to is ourselves. I can't believe I have to listen to this bullshit again. Here they go. Oh my God, how long is this going to last? Blah, 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 blah. Accuracy and selfishness are the 2 that we orient to when we're faced with a disgruntled partner. Here's the bitter pill, but take this pill and your life will get a lot easier. When you are faced with a disgruntled partner, ready, drum roll, it's not about you, it's about them. It's your job to help them be less disgruntled with you, to move them from disharmony into harmony with you. Why is that your job? Are you ready? Knock, knock. You live with them. That's why. You are ecologically connected. I don't talk about altruism. It's not they win, you lose. It's that your relationship is your biosphere. It's in your enlightened self-interest to keep your biosphere happy, happy spouse, happy house. If your partner is disgruntled, it is a one-way street. You are there to help them feel better. This is not a dialogue. Everybody gets this wrong, including psychotherapy. This is not the time to say, well, this is your issue, but let me tell you mine. This is a time to help them feel better with what's bugging them. I often say, you are at the customer service window. When your partner comes to you and says, my microwave doesn't work, they don't want to hear you say, well, my toaster doesn't work. They want you to fix their damn microwave. Pay attention to them. So here's the discipline, and this takes maturity. Take a breath. When you are faced with a disgruntled partner, trade in the orientation of accuracy. Nobody gives a damn. Objective reality has no place in personal relationships. The relational answer to the question who's right and who's wrong is who cares. What matters is, what do you need from me in order to help you feel better? I live with you. I love you. I want you to feel better. Let's fix this. Who's right and who's wrong? Please, it's a loser. Trade in objective reality. Trade in accuracy. No one cares. And trade in yourself. No one cares. Deal with your partner's upset. If you move from your partner's upset to what's right and what's wrong and what's valid and what's not valid and what they heard correctly and what they misperceived, or let alone you and your feelings, when I hear you say that, I feel helpless. Or, yeah, well, you got that issue, but I've got this one. They will experience you as deflecting, as not being there with them, but being about yourself. They will experience that move as selfish. And guess what? They're right. It is. So trade in yourself. Who cares? Trade in accuracy. Who cares? And replace it with this. Listen carefully. Write this down. Replace it with this orientation. Compassionate curiosity about your partner's subjective experience. Let me say it again. This is the way out of the mess. Compassionate curiosity about your partner's subjective experience. We don't care about objectivity. And it sounds like this. I'm sorry. That sounds bad. What was that like for you? Tell me more. Tell me more about that dipshit partner I'm married to? Really? You want me to tell you more about that? That's a revolution. But I do. I'm not going to argue about whether objectively your partner was this or that. I care about your subjective experience. Tell me what that was like for you. And then if you really want an A plus after you've heard them, is there something I could say or do that would help you feel better? That's repair. That one sentence. Is there something I could say or do that would help you feel better? But after you've heard them, what I hear you saying is, I have to teach people how to do this in my office. Don't rush off to solution or reassurance or just any. Reflect back what you've heard. Honey, let me see if I got this right. What I hear you saying is, and if your partner is 70% right, that's good enough. Maybe one correction, a little correction, incorporate the correction, but don't fuss with each other. This doesn't have to be exquisite empathy. What I hear you saying is blah, blah, blah. Did I get it right? Yeah, you got it right. And then empathy. Ready? Write this sentence down. Put this on a Post-it on your mirror when you brush your teeth in the morning. I can understand how you would feel like that. Man, is that healing balm. This is what I hear you saying. Did I get it right? Yes. Well, I can understand how you could feel like that. That doesn't mean I agree with you, but I can understand how you would feel like that. You see, no one is nonsensical to themselves. Everybody makes sense to themselves. The paranoid schizophrenic who's hiding under the desk knows, as you don't, that the Russians have put germs in the ventilating system. And if you understood that, you would be hiding under the desk along with them. It isn't that people are inconsistent with what they think. Everyone's consistent with what they think. What they think and feel may be different from what you think and feel. But they're not crazy to themselves. So join them. Get under the desk with them. I can understand how you would feel like that. You don't have to agree. It doesn't cost you a dime. Let me hear you. Let me see if I got it right. Oh, honey, that sounds terrible. I can understand how you might feel like that. And then, once you've given them the gift of feeling understood by you, then is there anything I can say or do that would help you feel better? Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button below for more just like this, how to speak. We have a whole YouTube on what we call the feedback wheel, how to speak cleanly and lovingly so that you optimize the possibility of being understood. How to speak, this one, how to listen, how to make repair, how to get more of what you want in your relationships. A lot of nuggets of, I like to focus on nuts and bolts skills, things that you can actually learn to do differently that work much better than the defaults of our culture and that school of relationships called your family of origin. Intimacy isn't something you have, it's something you do, and you can learn to do it more skillfully. Thank you for joining me. Be well.